Hey guys, Cam here again. Got another duel for you. Played against Mike, aka Feetwind, on Deep Embrace. I'm playing as Clutch. I've turned the game sounds down a little bit, so let me know in the comments if it's about right or if it's a bit too low. I should be able to talk now. As I move my desktop microphone a bit closer. I should be able to talk now whilst having the game play, because in previous videos you can't really hear what I'm saying when the game is playing, only when I'm paused, which for the most part I'm pausing when I'm talking, but not always. Just want to talk about this champion a bit. I think in the new meta he's actually one of the strongest, if not, honestly, in my opinion, the strongest champion. And the reason being is because a couple of the changes that they've made to the game, they haven't impacted him negatively, but they've impacted a lot of the other champions negatively. So the first one would be the 60-second ability. Clutch was always one of the champions that you didn't always use your ability anyway. You were sort of saving it, holding on to it, like a couple of other champions, your Doomslayers, these other champions. It's not like your Rangers and your Athenas, your Anarchies, where you're always using your ability. Some people do hold on to the Anarchy a bit, but you know the sort of champions I'm talking about, where as soon as you got your ability, you're looking to use it. Clutch was never one of those champions. You're always playing around it, and you just play a little bit slower if it wasn't coming up or whatever. So in that aspect, he's got stronger. The other aspect that he has got a lot stronger is the buff to the LG, and it's counterintuitive because most people tend to think that if LG is stronger, that means Clutch is weaker, but it's actually not true. And the reason for that is because most of the time when you're fighting with LG, you're fighting against LG. Sorry, you're fighting with your shield, and when you're doing that, your shield, because of the way the damage is increased to 7 on the LG now, it still rounds down to 4 like it used to on the shield. So the damage that they're dealing to you is the same as it was with LG pre-patch, but now you're dealing 7 with your LG back instead of 6. So you're actually stronger than what you used to be in most of the LG fights that you're taking as Clutch. And that is the biggest change with this champion. He is actually stronger now than what he used to be. Okay, he lost his... he used to spawn 100 armor at one point, which was a little bit strong, but... yeah, so now I think he's actually at his strongest that he's ever been, well, certainly when I've played the game. And a lot of people, it's a great champion to be good with because people don't know how to play against him because it's kind of like some of the other tanks, you can play a little bit differently and people are like, they get a bit impatient or they're not used to being able to play against him. But the difference with Clutch compared to some of the other tanks is that he can get around the map so quickly, you know what I mean? Like, okay, Keel can't, but fucking... Scale sort of can, and Sorlag definitely sort of can, but the problem is with those champions is they don't really offer much in terms of Scale sort of can, but was with Clutch he's a bit quicker to get his acceleration compared to Scale, and the other thing is the ability that Clutch has is actually one of the strongest abilities. If you use it at the right time, you literally can't be killed. And because you're Clutch, a lot of people get this idea that, I'm just going to fight him because he's Clutch, he's big, I can hit him hard. But the fact is, when you've got a decent amount of stack and use the ability, well, you've got an insane amount of health. So I'm on Deep Embrace here. I actually reckon this is his best map, personally. And me and Fraser always thought Clutch's best map was Deep Embrace. And for some reason, when we went to the LAN in 2022, we never picked him on this map. I was a bit scared, I guess, I don't know how to explain it. I practiced a lot on him, and then I got spooked and didn't play him, which I should have, because he's actually extremely strong on this map. And the reason is because, when you're on the correct side of the map with the rail and that, you can just sit there and wait. You don't really have to push out. And that's what you kind of have to do when you're playing as Clutch. Same reason that he's really strong on Ruins of Sarnath as well, is because you don't have to attack if you don't want to. You can just sit top mid T waiting, and then they can't really do anything. If they get impatient, especially if you've got the lead. That's what I always tell people about, playing against people who are playing slowly or whatever. You just can't give them the lead because then they'll be playing like that and then you're the one under pressure. Whereas I watched, just in the local Aussie tournament, Lucky and Salty both be mates, but I watched that game, not live, but I watched it on replay afterwards, and Salty was playing extremely passively on CK, and I said to Lucky, to me it looks like you don't know how to play against that. And the biggest tip I can give you when you're playing against a player who's going to play like that, and I don't get annoyed how my opponent's playing, it's a tournament and whatever, he's entitled to play how he wants to play, it's fine. But what I said to him is, if your opponent is playing like that, the first tip I can give you is you cannot give them the lead, because then like 3, 4, 5 minutes into the game and they've got a comfortable lead, it's up to you to do something, you know what I mean? Whereas if you haven't given them the lead through misplays or playing badly early, then they can't really afford to play like that, because they're wasting time out of making their comeback. And they're making it quite easy to play against if you know how to play against it. I'm getting a bit off track here, but the other tip I gave to him was that if you are playing against someone who's so passive like that, you need to be pushing out early instead of just waiting around for your items, because then when you get your item, he knows exactly where you are because you heard the item pick up, and he can hear where you're going to. Whereas if you pushed out early off your item, you're the one stopping him from getting into the position that he wants to get into hide, and he's not actually that strong, so he can't hide. But that's what I tried to tell him, and obviously it's a bit harder to do that when you're in tournament pressure as well, you know. So if you are playing against passive opponents, guys, that's what you kind of need to do. You actually need to play more aggressive at the right times against them and really stop them from being able to get into these positions where they can hide, because you put them under pressure off their spawn so they can't get their gun and their armor and hide or camp. You've pushed out off your item before it spawns. You've got them critically weak, so now they're like 60, 70 health instead of 200. And then by the time you go back to get your item and come back out, they're hunting health bubbles and that, and then you'll be able to hear what they're doing, and you'll be able to they're not strong anymore, so even if they are hiding, you can push in and kill them. That's what I tried to tell him. Anyway, we'll get into the game. So it's Clutch against Doomslayer, which is a bit of a common matchup. Doomslayer's quite commonly picked on this map. I don't think he's that good, and I've fallen into the trap myself of picking him a lot in tournament on this map. And there's better champions out there, you know what I mean? And that's something when I go to the next LAN, if I go, I'm going to try and really focus on that. Because we used to talk about strategy picking champions, and I would say I don't want to be playing this champion in tournament. But you get there to the tournament and you're picking him still, it doesn't really make sense. I think it's just something in your brain goes weird when you're in tournament and under pressure, you're not thinking straight. So sometimes it's better to go through your pick bands with your mate or someone else while you're doing it. Anyway, I'll get into the game. So I like to go for the rockets off this spawn. Always spam your rocket towards the LG. You might get a bit of damage, you might not, but it's fine. Just be careful when you are clutch, because you know one thing that you need to be aware when you play clutch is they're always looking to attack you, because they think you're clutch. I can hit him like shit. But the fact is, you need to remember, I'm 125. I'm about to be 200 armor, so that's 320. If you had the shield on, I'm not going to do the quick maths, but it's close to 500 health, maybe a little bit less. So like if you knew someone had 500 health, would you attack them? No, you wouldn't. But that's what they tend to do against you, especially if they got lightning gun. But yeah, just get ready for the attack when you're clutch, because they're going to attack you, and just have to be clinical and calm when they attack you and just kill them. Always cancel your shield as soon as you finish your fight, just so you get your spawn back. I actually thought when I come for this I had rail, so I was just going to try and rail him, but I didn't. Obviously he switched off rail, I didn't pick up rail. I thought I had it. Good next kill. I like to go for spawn damage here, just because, okay, it's possible that he could kill you, but I just don't think that he's going to. Did I get the health bubble then? I don't think I did. One thing I would recommend is don't go to red here like I do, I die. Just go to top mid on the left there and listen to what he's doing. If he comes for the top green, you can just back off around the corner and get to red. He shouldn't be able to kill you, even though I'm only 30 health. And if he goes to red like he does, just get the green, the other green, and the mega, and then you're right, you know what I mean? Going like this and dying is exactly what I have to do. So it is a mistake. One good thing about clutch, you get around the map so quickly. Right, so we know when red is, that's fine. Coming for this is probably a mistake. If he's got LG out, he's going to mince you. So yeah, don't be playing like that. Right, notice on that second rocket, I'm pushing it away, and I talk about it in the other videos. When you're shooting rockets correctly, you're always shooting them away from your body. You know what I mean? And that's to stop it from being too shallow, because if he is still moving towards us, that rocket that's shot like that can still hit him. Whereas if it's shallow and he's moving backwards like he was, you're not going to get any damage. And I was probably unlucky to only get 50 damage, could have been 80, and then I've got a really good chance to frag. Right, he's extremely weak now, so this is the beauty of clutch in this map, you just attack. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to hit a sharp rail and get cover and that, but it's very difficult, so. Alright, push out the center map here just to get your damage before red. I'm not worried about him stealing me red. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm not worried about him to be able to do that. Alright. Probably don't want to pick up that green, just get your damage first. I use my shield there because anytime you're in an engagement like this where the items aren't spawned, that's the perfect time to use your shield, because then you kill him, you get the items straight off the bat after that. You can go for your spawn frags. You want to minimise the amount of damage you're taking now, especially this clutch, because you know you're going to get stacked back up afterwards. And then you're going to be in a monstrous stack afterwards. And he's probably not going to fight you straight away. And that's important as clutch when you know you're not going to get fought straight away, because it gives your shield a chance to regenerate back to using it. So the next time that he actually wants to fight you, it's ready to go again. So that's why this is the perfect time to use the shield. Okay, he had Tribot out, so he sort of got cut out and he wouldn't be able to hurt me anyway. So maybe I wanted to save it because he didn't really end up hitting me anyway. But that's how you want to play clutch. You want to use your shield, destroy him, then you get all the health and all that sort of stuff, and they're not in a position to attack you until your shield is ready to go again. And that's the pattern to play in this character. And that's why he's so strong when you got on proper roll, because by the time they're ready to attack you, you got your shield again and you're strong. So what can they do? They can't do anything. And that's what I'm saying. If you have the lead, it's even better, because then they've got their pressure on you to do something. And they just can't, because you're just so strong. Alright, looking for spawn frags now. Just use your body to aim that. See how I'm moving left? It's going to change his movement. And just take your time on that second shot. It's not a difficult shot. Don't pick up the green first. It's the other thing. Don't sit on the green. 2 reasons. 1, you're only going to get 1 armor after it. And 2, then it's easy for him to aim his LG, because he knows we're going to be sort of standing. Okay, he didn't hit me anyway, so now I can pick it up, probably because I want to go deny it the rail and whatnot. But if imagine I missed the second shot, then the green's still there for me. So it's a common thing in a lot of these fights. And one of the most common situations where you're in it is top mid on awoken, when you're pushing them towards mega. What you want to do is just don't pick up the health bubble until you get all 25 health out of it. Same with the armor. Don't pick it up when you're only getting 20 armor of it and you're taking damage. Just wait until you're 50 damage instead. You get all 50 armor for it. It makes a huge difference. And especially if you end up killing them, then you pick it up. You got all 50 armor. You don't only get 20 armor out of it. So even if you do end up getting killed either way, then we're strong still, and we can easily stack back up. I see a lot of guys just pick up the armor because it's in the fight, and then you only get 1 armor out of it. You may as well not have picked it up, and it's not there for you after the fight either. So just make a big difference. And the other thing is, and it's not so much on this map, but a few players really good at it. Phrase Dan, same thing. I'm always saying. I know I'm always naming those 2 players when I'm naming in my videos about Australian players, but the fact is, when you're good, you're usually good at most aspects of the game, and they're the 2 players that I think of. They're really good at this. They dodge off the item a bit. Dan's probably the best at it. I mean, I'm pretty good at it too, but obviously I don't play against myself. But yeah, just dodge off the item, and you'd be surprised how many blokes just can't hit you when you do it, because they're waiting for you to walk for the item because they can see the item there. And then I always remember in this twos game, the quad was there and Dan did it to me off the quad. He's dodging off the fucking quad. That's how good he is, And I was just laughing to myself, because it was on ZTN and the quad was there, and he's literally, I'm going to jump towards the quad around him. He was railable, and he's dodging away from quad. That's how good he is. Not even just pick up quad, you know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely do. Always incorporate that in your game, especially if you're not railable. But the funny thing is, honestly, even if you are railable and you need the armor to not be railable, sometimes it's better to just even dodge off it. They won't hit you. They just won't, because they're aiming at the item. They know you're railable, so they think, oh, he's going to go for the item. And then you just dodge off of it. But you have to have big nuts to do that. But you'll be surprised how often they miss you. That's why I said to Billy a few times in these situations, just stay out. Don't dodge behind the wall. They're going to hit you on the way to crossing the wall, and then you're dead. Just stay out. You're railable, yes, you are, but you have to stay out, because if you don't stay out, they're going to hit an easy shot on you. Anyway, we'll continue on. So don't pick it up. It's probably not a mistake, but depends where he spawns. Alright. Fucking minced me then. I'm surprised that rail missed. Now this is the problem with not picking up. He did get onto it, but it's pretty rare that's going to happen. Alright. Here's a little tip for you guys. Depends what skin of plasma it is, but just... And I remember specifically doing this in this fight. Watch the angle that the plasma's coming out at. You can see the beams, right? So you know when it starts to straighten up, that means he's about to jump towards you, because he's straightened up, or he's about to come into view. So just use that as your guide as to what he's doing, the angle that the plasma's coming on. I know it's only subtle, but it helps you a lot. Same with rockets, but you can use that with certain positions with rockets to work out where they are based on the angle that the rocket come from. But here you can see the angle of the plasma, and wait till see how it straightens up just before he's coming. That means he's about to attack me, and then you're ready to shoot. Alright, grab this. I'm really bad at fucking making that. I messed that up quite a bit actually. Straight through, can't. Yeah, that's straight through. Yeah. Alright, this is where we're playing as clutch. We haven't got shield yet, so we don't want to push out on the map. We're actually duking and waiting, denying weapons, and we're waiting for our shield to come back. If he wants to push in and let us hurt him a lot, that's fine. But now once we got our shield, we can fight. Oh, nice shot. Oh, nice shot. He uses his ability, so it's alright. Again, use your shield here because you know you're not going to fight again for a while. Alright, once we hear him, we'll go for damage. This is good. This is one beautiful thing about clutch is you can get up top, you can steal their green, go for damage on their LG. One thing you'd have to be careful of is they're not jumping straight up towards you, but I won't miss that rail if he is, and I'll knock him back down if he is. But you can go for your damage here is important because you don't want him getting mega, getting this green and then being in top mid and you haven't hurt him at all. Whereas, you know, I missed everything, that's fine, but I had 2-3 rails to actually cripple him and I'm still going to be, he can't really hurt me. So always be pushing out for this damage here and then come back for your red armor. And he still can't really do anything here. Pushing like he is, he's just going to get railed and he's not going to get much damage on me, so it's just a waste of time what he's doing. And you know, I'm laughing now, I'm massive stack. And he's dead. I'll push forward, we need health. Should grab the health bubble behind me. Maybe should have held that angle for a bit longer, but it's alright. Just hold your ground here, relax. I've got the kill. He hasn't got enough health to do this. I remember I didn't stop shooting because I tried to switch shotgun, but I don't know why I didn't. Always lay that spam down because what happens is they spawn at the LG and they drop down for that armor. Maybe as Doom he necessarily won't, but put that down and be surprised how often it hits. And the alternative is a lot of players, what I see is they just sit at red and then once he gets here with and putting pressure on you, he might be able to kill you. And if he's not killing you, you're wasting opportunity to get big damage on him, you know what I mean? So push out for that damage. He can't hurt you, so why wouldn't you do that? And then we come up to get red. And now I've got an extra 50 damage, 100 damage on him, you know what I mean? I was surprised this rail didn't hit him. It means he must have got the green. Didn't kill him, sorry. But you know, I've killed him now. So you ripper, I haven't even got red yet. And it's all because I pushed out. Right, now this is where you got to just post. Don't push aggressively for damage. We've got the lead. Let him come to us and see what he's doing. Just play relaxed. Perfect. We can go steal that green now. We've got our shield, so we're looking to use it, but just play with patience in these sort of situations. Now he's got nothing on the map. We can kill him. Don't even need to use our shield. Exactly. Now we're spawn fragging. This is a different story here. I'll probably pick it up in that situation just because it gives me a bit more armor. And because I need to be quick. I remember I took an extra punch here. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, straight back down. Can go for this health, but I just got to be careful now on this timing. Yeah, fucking movement's bad. Because now you know he's probably going to look to attack you. And he sort of can now, because I didn't get up top and get the health bubble. So just be wary. I'll just get away now. Once you get that first rocket, you can probably push up. He's still chasing me because he thinks I'm weak, but I'm not. It's fine. I listen to what he does. Yeah, probably a bit risky to go for that. The rail might have killed him, but yeah, probably no need. Just bluff towards him, slow him up. I'm not worried if he's pushing back. You know, in close quarters, I've got to kill him. Don't take any damage now. Mega's still up, so we'll go get that. It's not the end of the world if he rails me. We'll just bluff around for a bit because we're waiting for our shield to come back here. Grab this armor, and we can get to the other side of the map now. Same again, we're sort of waiting for our shield here, so we just want to take a decent position. I like to jump around when they're below you here, just so they can't hit you with rockets really easy. Just jump around a bit. I want to get around that corner, but we can push down. Unlucky. I thought they would have fallen, so that's the reason I attacked. If you knew he's up top, maybe you wouldn't. Remember, I thought I was 90 here for some reason, so I was going to use me laser, but given that I wasn't 90, probably just kept the shield on and charged towards him with shotgun. Maybe should have gone to rail here, but obviously with Mega coming on. This is okay. Just attack up here. You got a lot of health, so I'm not saying he can't kill you, but it won't be easy. Bit unlucky that rocket didn't hit me. But yeah, I killed him anyway. Bit fortunate in the end to win that fight, but to me it was my fight. Just spam the shit out of this as you come. Because once we get to this stack here, you can't really attack us anymore. He'll try to, you got to remember your clutch, they'll try to attack you, but they can't really. So actually we're playing for next red here. Nice shot. I just play tucked here. Don't want him to be able to attack us, especially with that shield coming. Alright, our kill now. That's one of the situations I was talking about before where Dan, what he does is he actually moves in a lot and then jiggles back out just about to shoot your rail, which I could have done just because I didn't want to take that extra rail. But you know, as clutch, sometimes they're going to hit you anyway because you're quite big when you're jiggling. So yeah, just push in is fine as well. Same again, we'll go for a little damage and quickly get up. You got to be careful though, because if he's attacking fast, especially online, they can get in LG range quite quickly. Alright, same story. Not really worried about him attacking here. Beauty of taking that damage is he actually thinks he's piss weak here, but I'm not. He hasn't got the right weapons to attack here. Don't move so close to being his tribal range, that was a mistake. Quickly go this way so he can't spawn near red. Right, push now. Could have used shield early just because, you know, 28, 25, what's that, fucking 53. Then you'd still be rail. He hasn't got rail anyway, but maybe you can stand and fight. By the time you get the health bubble, you wouldn't be as weak as what I was. But I didn't because I was worried that the one ability you don't want to waste in this game is shield, because then they're hunting you off spawn. You know, but maybe I could have used it and I wouldn't have died to 2 shotguns and I could have fought. But I didn't, because you don't want to use it when you're extremely weak, because it doesn't really offer you anything when you're like 20 health, you know what I mean? You're still going to die. One thing that's good about clutch is if you have got an item, you can afford to take a rail. And you might get rail, and then imagine I got railed, I would just run around the back there and then just get away. Whereas now I can actually put a shield on the fight, and he's dead. Do better dodging than that. Don't just run straight at him. He was a bit stronger than what I thought, but you know, still got 65 health. It's not the end of the world. Coming through here can be a bit of a mistake, but when we rail, just hold the crosshair still and we move, and he'll move into us, you know what I mean? That's why I keep coming back to it in my videos, because it's just so easy. I'm hitting these shots quite often because of how I'm aiming. You notice the crosshair is relatively still always. Watch it again. I don't know I've highlighted this a lot of times in my video, but I just want to keep coming back to it because I really think it's one of the reasons why my rail's so strong. Just hardly any motion on the crosshair, and they're just moving, you know what I mean? It's quite easy. Even that one, say I'm not moving my crosshair, I'm moving my body. Possibly on that one we could have charged right out there, and the beauty of clutch is you get there really quickly when they spawn in, but yeah, I didn't. So it's not a mistake, but just could have done that differently, I guess. Can get shotgun here. In this sort of situation when you can hear him around, we just want to bluff and wait for shield again, same thing. Like root around down the bottom and wait for our shield. And like I said, when you got the lead, okay, we're not losing this game, but when you've got the lead, they've got to do something, and it puts them under a lot of pressure. Same again, just bluff around. Not make him waste time. Now we come up because he's thinking we're bluffing again, you know what I mean? Just jiggling here. I saw him. Oh, nice shot. I attacked off that. Probably shouldn't use shield straight away here like I did. Reason being is because you want to make sure that you can actually pin him in before you use it. Because, like I said, it's one of the abilities you don't want to use. Waste, sorry. So make sure you... Because you're not going to take much more damage if you don't use it immediately. The only problem with sometimes using it is it does sort of get in your vision a bit. I know it's an annoying ability like that. You can't really see properly when you immediately use it. So maybe that's one thing I could have done differently, but yeah. That rail that hit was pretty nutty, but just look how I used my body. I just quickly moved my body right once I saw him down the bottom, and I hit it. It was only like the very tip of him that I saw, and yeah, beautiful shot, but yeah, probably shouldn't have wasted shield. Just move in and see if he's standing there to fight. If he's standing there to fight, then use your shield. If he's getting away like he is, then you don't have to use shield. So that's one thing you could have done differently, because now we don't have shield. Push out to set him up. Still strong enough to be able to do this. I'm just going to wait. I think he saw me though. Switch off LG so you can't hear, obviously. Alright, push in now. Oh, you can't get next red now. Just push in hard for the kill here. Don't worry about the items. Yeah, a bit slow movement, crap. Clumsy. All good. Alright, pushing back out to center map. We don't need red. Oh, terrible. He hasn't got LG when he comes like this, so you're not really worried about anything. What you're worried about is you got LG and he's charging him, but he obviously can't do that, so... I've never gone for this shot before, just wanted to see what happened. Obviously didn't spawn there. Alright, damage first. I meant to pick up that red, but you don't have to. Thing is, one thing as the tanks though, is you can pick up the items and it doesn't really matter. Reason being is because the decay rate's very slow as tanks. So, yeah, it's fine if you pick up the armor. As the light, I probably wouldn't pick up the armor there just because, you know, you don't want to lose that extra fucking 15, 20 health in the cycle, you know what I mean? Anyway, just hold your ground, hit your 2 rails, now you can push out on the map easily. Take your time on that shot. But see, he still wants to attack because I'm clutch, but he just can't. I've got too much health. Movement. Just get away now. Probably don't want to peek for that round in case he is spamming the gap. Just bluff and try and get to health bubble. Once we get to health bubble, we're good. So he still can't attack. Just be careful, he's still right below you. Yeah, exactly. Especially on this game, on this ping, what'll happen is he'll come from below you. He'll start shooting you before you can see you. Before you can see him, and you'll get destroyed. Probably shouldn't jump around like what I am here, just because he's probably waiting to pin you with LG something. Maybe he didn't want to shoot that rail, just switch to rockets immediately and use your shield. So that was a bit of a shit fight. But yeah, it's alright. Take your time on that rail. That's unlike me to snap like that. That's how Frey shoots it. Don't do that. That's terrible. I would never usually miss those rails, so it was just bad. Yeah, I'd hit 2 out of 3 all day, every week, all day, every day. So it was just bad. But yeah. Alright, grab this screen. So we can attack off this spawn. It's okay. Alright, nice. Come back this way. Yeah, it's good. Again, just peek around the corner and watch him for a split second. Okay, I did move my mouse on that one, but I'm watching him. I've got my mouse on the left-hand side, and I'm only moving my mouse like quite gently when I do that. Never over flick like a lot of players do. I just like quite steady with my mouse. I don't know how to explain. I just am, but it helps in those sort of situations. Again, we're going for our damage before the red armor. I'll go for this green first, just because what you don't want is him to come up top and get it when he spawns at LG here, and then we can drop down for the health bubbles even still. He still can't stop us getting... If he does drop straight down, he can't stop us getting the health bubbles, and then we'll kill him. Yeah, that's the end of the game. Righto guys, so that's how I like to play clutch on this map. As you can see, if you're playing it right around the shield and camping when you should be camping, delaying them so you can get your shield up, and playing around your ability, because that's what you have to do as clutch, play around your ability, except for when you're spawn fragging. Then obviously you want to move around the map quickly and aggressively. But that's how I try and play on this map as clutch. And you can see, as played, like I did die 7 times, but if I'm dying 7 times in a duel as clutch, I'll take that any day, because I know, especially as the tanks, if I can get 2 for 1 or 3 for 1 in each life, I'm probably happy. Because you never get clean games when you're playing as tanks or against tanks. You just don't. You're going to die, and they're going to die as well. But you just need to make sure that most of the times you're getting favourable amounts of kills per life. So yeah, I think on this map, and this map's a bit out of favour at the moment in Australia because it's not in a map pool at the moment, but he's extremely strong on this map, and when I go to the LAN, if this map's in the pool, I will be looking to pick him on this map. The only one thing I would say about Clutch is I personally believe he's a champion that you don't want to pick first. You want to counter pick it to what they pick, because there are some champions that are quite decent against him. Strog and Pika, BJ surprisingly not bad. Actually, Doomslayer's not too bad against him on a certain map. And the reason I say Doom's not bad against him, because when you think about tanks in general, the weapon you're scared of them using and using well is rocket launcher. And the reason for that is because they can... It's not like LG and Rail where you're hitting them more when they're using rockets. If you're using rockets against a tank, really it's not much easier to hit them with rockets than it is compared to even a light or a medium. Obviously they are a bit bigger, so the directs rockets hit a bit more, but the ground rockets are pretty difficult, similar difficulty against every champion. Okay, they move a little bit quicker, so it's not the same difficulty, but it's not like a rail where the rails against the lights are a lot harder than they are against the tanks, right? Rockets aren't like that, so that's the one weapon you need to be careful of the tanks using, hiding behind corners and that. And the reason why Doom's not too bad against the tanks is because a lot of the rocket fights, you can't use rockets against him because he's up in the air, you know what I mean? So that's one reason why Doomslayer's not too bad against Clutch either. But in general, yeah, I actually believe, and I've believed this for a long time, if you play a good, proper duel as Clutch, hit all your shots, he is the best champion. And it makes sense because he's the fastest with the most health. So, of course, if you're hitting hard and playing well, then, of course, he's extremely strong. The problem you get into is when the player's experienced against playing Clutch, he's using a lot of machine gun, a lot of shotgun, a lot of, not so much shotgun anymore because it's a bit weaker now, a lot of plasma, and he's aware of how to play against the shield. There's 2 ways to play against the shield in general. You either got to attack relentlessly, so he's never got shield, or you got to play very slowly and make him use shield and then attack later. You don't want to play this in-between game where, like I'm saying, we're trying to play as Clutch, where every fight he's got shield, or every second fight he's got shield, because then you're just not going to win, because he's just got too much health. Anyway, that's what I want to focus on this lesson. It was more about specifics of playing him, and specifics of playing him on this map. Some other maps that people like him on is Ruins. I know he gets a lot of love on Awoken and BC. I'm not saying he's unplayable on those maps. He's not bad, but I just think personally the map layouts he's best at is Ruins and Deep Embrace, which I know is a little bit different to what you see in the pro scene. But the fact is, even in the pro scene, there's not many players who play him and can play him well. Obviously, you got your Razy. He's famous for picking the champion. But you look, even in the final of that Quake on, he picked him on a map that he's not usually picked on, and he beat Rafa. But I think on Vale. But I think, to be honest, what was I going to say? I can't say what I was going to say because it's like you can't say anything about the world's best player. You know what I mean? He's the world's best player. But I think on Vale, with Ranger, sometimes he's... well, I just think in general as well, Ranger isn't as good against Clutch as what he is against all the other champions. The reason being is because his major strength is Rocket Launcher, and against Clutch, Rocket Launcher is just not that strong. And then the other thing is the Orb even. It's not bad, but it doesn't have the same strength against Clutch as what it does against other champions. So Strog is a much stronger champion against Clutch because obviously the plasma from the drone fucking destroys him completely. So yeah, usually if I'm playing Clutch, the champion I don't want to be playing against is Strog. BJ's not bad, like I said. Some Nyx and Athena on certain maps as well, but Anarchy as well. But yeah, in general, like I'm saying, pick Clutch as a counter pick to their champion. You know, if they're playing as like fucking, a lot of these other champions, like anyone I didn't just name, then you can pick him in behind. One thing I will say is I think Clutch is extremely, extremely strong against lights on a certain map. On Ruins of Sarnath, for example, if they're Slash or Athena, just type GG, you've already lost. Clutch is just too strong, too much health, just too good. You know what I mean? One thing where his Athena can get the upper hand is on like BC, for example, because there's heaps of tiers on the map. So she can get away 3 times per cycle of ability, whereas Nyx can only get away once. So yeah, I think Clutch against all the lights, he's better. So just be careful of that when you are picking in tournament. If your opponent knows how to play Clutch, just be careful of picking a light and allowing them to play Clutch in behind on the wrong maps. Anyway, that's the end of the lesson. I'm going to make a game on Ruins of Sarnath next. And I've got a game. I played as BJ against Slash against Mike as well, so I'll probably make a lesson on that. Alright, thanks for that, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Catch up.